Hey guys, Sarek here, and today I'm going to talk through some of the cards that I think really need a reprint in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. So this will be going through cards that are played in lots of different decks that have had reprints before. That's really important, but their prices are still too high for people who are playing on a limited income. So before you all ask me why Pot of Prosperity, Aluba, Diviner of the Herald are all on this list, this is why, because I'm not considering any cards that hasn't had a reprint already. Okay, so let's get into the cards. First off, we have Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. Now, this obviously is one of the best Link 4s in the game. It negates any monster effect at the cost of 800 attack. It's used in combo decks as Nibiru proof. It's used as end board parts for monster negates. It was originally printed as Secret Rare in Rising Rampage and has now had 2 reprints since then, and its price has been just steadily creeping up since the reprint in Gold Series back in 2020. So it originally dropped to about £10 a copy for a Gold Rare or an Ultra Rare version, but has gone right back up and now will set you over £20 or nearly $30 for an Ultra or a Gold Rare copy, and a Secret Rare will cost you even more. So, Appaloosa, fantastic card if you've got a copy. It really needs a reprint because more people need to have access to this card. It's so generic, so good, goes in so many decks. It's just really worth it to have access to. Our next card we have is another card that's often seen in conjunction with Appaloosa on end boards. It's Borreload Savage Dragon. This card hit nearly £40, nearly $50 a copy when it was ultra rare in Savage Strike, and has since then never really dipped below the £20 mark after its reprint in Mega Pack 20. It's now, again, creeping back up because it hasn't seen a reprint for a long time, and it could really do with one again. It's hitting nearly £30 a copy, nearly $40 for either an Ultra or a Secret Rare copy. It's one of the best generic level 8 synchros in the game, sees play in every deck that can make level 8 synchros and uses link monsters, so basically every synchro deck bar Sword Soul. And again, just provides very useful Omni Negate and a big massive beat stick with which to hit your opponent over the head with. Fantastic card, has very few replacements for end board material as a level 8 synchro. And that's why it still commands such a high price, because it's, again, only been reprinted once in a high rarity slot. Now, the next cards, you've probably seen them all coming, and I've lumped them together for a big reason. It's Lightning Storm, Triple Tactics Talent, and the card that I don't even own, Forbidden Droplet, because it's still too expensive to own. These are all very similar cards in terms of printing pattern. They were all originally released as a Secret Rare in a set. They're all spell cards, and they are all really useful when it comes to breaking boards and rebuilding. Obviously, Talents is when you have something get negated. Lightning Storm helps you blow out back row decks or monster decks which have few spell negates, and Droplets just blows out basically everything in the game and helps you OTK. Lightning Storm and Talents will set you back £35 to £40 a copy. If you were quick on Talents when the Megatins came out, you could get them for about £20 a copy, £20 to £25. Lightning Storm, again, at its lowest, hits around £30 a copy, but they've both started creeping back up again, and Droplets hasn't really even dropped in price. I can't believe I just said that, even with the reprint. You're still looking at £70 a copy for a Forbidden Droplet, or even more if you want to go Ultimate Rare copies, which look absolutely amazing, and I wish I had the disposable income to suddenly drop £600 on a playset of cards. But anyway, they're all fabulous cards if you can get them. They're all well over a year and a half old now. They really need reprinting, and please, Konami, reprint these cards in actual easy-to-get ways, and don't just rob us like you did with the Cyber Strike structure deck, removing Lightning Storm. And we're getting to another ridiculously overpriced bugbear that could almost go in the same category as before, but I've put it in a different category. I've put it in a different slot because it's a very, very different card, because it's a monster, not a spell. Access Code Talker. We all know what Access Code Talker does. We all know how much it needed a reprint. It was £100 a copy for a one-of, just on the fact that it saw play in basically every single deck that could make link monsters. It breaks the board, it secures the OTK, it's generic, it can be made really, really easy with Halka Fibrax chains, going into Selene and special summoning an Effect Veiler. The card's absolutely insane. It was going for nearly £120, almost $150 pre-reprint. And the reprint will still set you back over £50 a copy. So, yeah, it dropped the price by half, more than half, but it's still ridiculously expensive. And again, it's hard to pull. I opened a full 5-box case of Maximum Gold, and I got one access code from it. That was all. That was the only access code talker I pulled. So yeah, access code talker. It does have Boral Sword as a relatively nice budget replacement, but Boral Sword is also creeping up in price after not having seen a reprint for a little while, and also is just not quite as good in most situations because it doesn't break the board nearly as well as access code talker, and it requires 3 materials, not 2. Which is one thing that makes Access Code Talker so broken, as well as the fact that you can't respond to Access Code Talker's effects. And then finally, this card may surprise some of you with what it is. It's Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This card has had reprintings in Maximum Crisis, in Shadows in Valhalla, in Legendary Collection Kyber, in Soulburner Structure Deck, in Dual Power, in Dual Devastator, in Maximum Gold, the original one, and it still commands £15 a copy. Just let that sink in. A playset of this card essentially costs you the same as an access code talker. And you need a playset of this card. This is one of the biggest bugbears I have with making budget content at the moment, is I can't afford to include Ash Blossom in many, many decks because it just adds nearly £50 onto the price tag of that deck, which just isn't feasible when I want to include the actual deck core. It's an amazing card for a reason. It goes in literally every deck. It negates so many useful things, even just negating desires, extravagance, negating searches, the whole lot. We all know what it does. And it just really, really needs a regular, low rarity, easy access reprint. If you got these when Soulburner was released, you could get these for under £5 a copy. I think I got mine for about £3.50 a copy because Soulburner and Dual Devastator had just been released, so Ash Blossoms were really, really easy to get. Ash Blossom now hasn't been reprinted for well over a year, and it's really, really feeling it, and it really, really needs that reprint to push the price down. I'm hoping we see some of these reprints in Ghosts from the Past too. I would like to see Borrowload Savage, Appaloosa, and Ash Blossom in Ghosts from the Past too. I don't think they'll include any of the others, because I think it's been too close to their previous reprints. But I would really, really like to see those in Ghosts from the Past too. And yeah, those are my top picks for needing reprints currently, because this game's expensive. We all know this game's expensive, and it's especially disappointing when generic cards are really, really expensive, because then you're just hampering yourself. If archetypes are expensive, fine, you just don't need to play that deck. There are plenty of other cheaper archetypes you can play, but when generic cards are really, really expensive, that's what drives the price up in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think cards like this are very, very strong if you have the money for them. And they're one of the biggest gaps between budget players and non-budget players, is the ability to afford these cards. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you again soon. I'll be back on budget decks at some point when I've A, cleared my desk, and B, my new batch of sleeves has arrived. Everywhere's been out of stock of the sleeves I used, so I've only just managed to order some, so I will be back soon with more decks. Bye.